Okay, I promised you in the last lesson that I was going to teach you an exercise, and this exercise is called ground and release. It's actually a somatic exercise, which we've talked about somatics already a little bit. Um, uh, Exercise that calms the nervous system, regulates the nervous system, but it's also a good practice to teach you mindfulness because it involves bringing your attention back into the present over and over again. So we're gonna kind of do this together. Um, you can either, I'm going to do this exercise laying on the ground, which is why I have my computer here. We're like near the ground. So I'm about to lay down and show you. We're going to do this together. But you can also do it if you're sitting in a chair. You want to be in a chair with a back to it, and that has a hard surface. So you don't want to be on a couch or um, in a recliner or anything like that. Now, you can do this exercise once you learn it and once you get the hang of it. You can do this anywhere. You can do this in your bed. You can do this when you're on the couch, anywhere. But to begin with, you want to teach your brain. You want your brain to be able to distinguish where your body ends and where the surface begins. And the harder the surface is, the better. So if you have like a hardback chair, I used to do this in one of my outdoor chairs where it had a sort of a flexible bottom to it and then a back, but anything like that will work, or you can just do it laying on the ground. Now, the first thing that you're going to do when you do this exercise is set a timer, because you want to do it for a certain amount of time when you're practicing, because you can build up in your ability to keep your mind focused. So let me just see here on my phone. I'm going to get a timer. Where's my timer? Should have had this ready, huh? Okay, so I'm going to get a timer on my phone going we're just going to do it today for 2 minutes. We're going to start with 2 minutes. You build up as you go. And so however, the most amount of time you can start with, if it's 5 minutes, to begin this, you will build it up in the future. Okay. Get down here where you can still see me. Okay. I know this is kind of, all right. We are going to close our eyes and relax our bodies, and we're just going to notice, put our focus on where our body meets the surface, where that boundary is, the boundary of our body meeting the surface below us. And so we'll start like at the bottom of our feet, and then just work our way up in our mind, and notice what it feels like for our bodies to touch this surface, if you're sitting in a chair or if you're laying on the floor. And what that does is it grounds your mind into the present moment, where you are right now in this moment. And then your mind will probably start to try to wander off in all kinds of different directions while you're doing this. And you're just going to practice bringing it gently back and just noticing what that feels like, for the surface of your body to touch the floor. Now, you want to avoid being really judgmental about this. You just want to notice if it's firm, notice if it's soft, hard. Notice where your body has more contact of the surface. And so just continue to notice that in your body. Now, as you do this, you might notice how your body reacts to it and how your nervous system starts to regulate. Now, 2 minutes might not be long enough for your system to be able to really get your brain to really recognize and get the hang of it. But if you notice things like you start yawning, or you just start to relax more, or you feel like a settling in the center of your body, if you have digestive rumbles, your stomach might start to growl or move around. you just might feel some kind of release of your body, release of stress out of your body. It could be flushing in your face. Crying is another one that people sometimes do when they give themselves time and space to be able to just be in the present moment. But the point is, you're going to be practicing pulling your mind back to how the surface feels, how your body feels touching the surface. And this teaches your body, teaches your mind to focus on what you deem is important for it to focus on. Okay, so now we're going to start this timer. And we're just going to do this exercise for 2 minutes. All right, begin. Okay, that's my timer going off. We're done with that. Okay, now, first of all, I noticed, the first thing I noticed was how difficult this exercise is to do and keep your mind actually on what it's supposed to be on when I'm on camera. So that maybe I should do this more often. It was good practice. All right, I'm going to sit up so I can talk to you better. Okay. So now you're just going to notice how you feel. Notice if you feel any different. Did you notice any releases while you were doing this exercise? Did you notice any I bet you noticed how hard it is to actually keep your mind on the thing that you want it to stay on, because I'm sure it was wandering off into all kinds of different directions unless you've done this on a regular basis and practiced it. But I do want to tell you, the more that you practice this, and I would recommend when you're starting out to do it twice a day. So for how many ever minutes you decide you want to start with, to do that twice a day, find a place to either lay down or sit down, and then set your timer, and then just keep bringing your mind back to that boundary between your body and the surface. You keep doing that, and then, maybe after 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, you up your time, depending on how you feel like you're progressing, feel like you can do it longer or more often, and you just keep upping your time. Now, the goal is to get to like 20 or 30 minutes at a time where you can be doing this exercise. And it's more difficult than it sounds, because as easy as it sounds to sit and do nothing for 20 or 30 minutes, especially in our culture where we have our phones and we have constant activity and constant mental activity, things that we're doing, it's very difficult to get to a place where you can just sit and not get up and do anything. Because I guarantee when you sit down or you lay down, that you're going to start thinking of all the things that you need to get up and go do. So, start with the smallest amount of time and then build up. But the more that you do this, the more that you're going to notice that you're able to focus better during the day, focus better as you're just going through life. Navigate your mind and set it on what you want it to be set on, and then keep it there, because you're practicing this on a regular basis. It's just like building up our muscles. When we're exercising our muscles on a regular basis, we're going to see a difference in those muscles, and they're going to be able to handle more weight and more stress the more you do it. And so that's kind of how this works for our mind and for our body. This is like exercising your mind. And so this will very much help you with mindfulness, but it will also help you with stress and overload, and even being able to slow down in your life and go slower and pay more attention to the things that really matter. Focus and choose your focus. Choose where you want your mind to focus. And so this exercise has been one of the game changers in my own health, with dealing with anxiety, dealing with trauma, dealing with panic attacks, all of that kind of thing, because it really does bring your mind into the present moment, and that signals safety to your body. Your body is almost like, oh, if we are able to just lay here or just sit here and do this exercise, then we must not be in as much danger, as we first imagined. A lot of times our danger too, the danger that we feel, is because of past experiences. Like we went through something in the past and this is triggering that, or future fears, we're afraid that something might happen in the future. And a lot of times that is where the anxiety comes from. And so reminding your body that it's present right now, like it's in this moment and safe in this moment, does so much good for your whole body, your whole health, all your systems. So anyway, I would totally recommend this exercise as a resource for sure, and definitely help you with mindfulness. This goes right along with that lesson, but it also goes along with somatic lessons. This is a very good regulating practice for your nervous system.